In the original Counter-Strike, there are 3 official game modes: Assassination, Hostage Rescue, and Bomb Defusal. But did you know there was a 4th one that was cut during development? This mode is called Escape, and if you are a nerd or you've been watching this channel, of course you know what it is. It's not like I haven't mentioned it a couple of times already, but I thought I should take a deeper dive into it and make it its own separate video, so here we go! On March 11th, 2000, beta version 6.0 was released for Counter-Strike, and amidst the mini-map updates and features getting added, there were 2 new game modes, Assassination and Escape, but obviously we're going to be talking about Escape only here. So, along with this mode, there were 2 new maps using the ES prefix, Frantic and Jail. Additionally, there were 2 new voice lines for each team at the start of the round. The rest is all in the structure of the maps, so how does Escape work? The idea is that terrorists have to escape by making their way to the designated escape zones, kind of like Assassination, just without the VIP, but in order for the Ts to win, 50% of the team must reach the escape zone, at least that's what it says in the patch notes. CTs either have to eliminate all Ts or run down the timer. Team roles will be switched every 8 rounds. The maximum intended amount of players was 10 per team. And one major gameplay difference is that terrorists cannot buy anything. All you get is a Glock, but don't worry, there is a selection of weapons plus armor stashed in specific places close to their spawn. Just give me a second here. Just to note, the terrorist win condition for escaping may be just 3 terrorists according to archived patch notes and my other sources. I don't really know if it's a change that happened or which is exactly correct, but the team swapping is actually done every 3 rounds. And yeah, my other source is the CS Fan Wiki, and don't you dare judge me for it. The maps themselves were very maze-like, which is on purpose, since the Ts don't really have much to defend themselves with, while the CTs can buy anything they want. Similar to Assassination, the escape zones are pretty easy to defend, since they are either in an open area or don't really have any additional methods of approach, making this game mode pretty one-sided. This was reflected in the community's response, it just wasn't as popular, and we can see it in the patch notes. For beta 6.5, both Frantic and Jail were removed, but the 3rd official escape map, Trinity, was added, which kinda leads me to believe the devs wanted to try and make this work, but probably not for long, since in beta 7.0, Trinity was removed, marking the end of the escape game mode. Truly a sad tale. I did not manage to find much discussion or archives about this game mode, maybe because when you search for words involving CS and Escape, all you get is the damn zombie escape mode. God, it's all over the place. Well, anyway, perhaps it was flawed by design and only existed due to the need of a game mode where the roles are swapped, while the objectives are not something too far from CS. As previously mentioned, it does bear resemblance to Assassination. Regardless, Escape was an interesting experiment for as short-lived as it was, but the maps are playable and still work for the most part, because in the beta, when a team manages to escape, they despawn, while in current 1.6, they don't, but do count as escaped. So let's take a more in-depth look at these 3 remnants of the past. ES Frantic, set in an abandoned New York subway. There is a bit of liminal horror here, but let's skip on that before you roll your eyes and close the video. Layout is, of course, complicated to navigate, but honestly here, it really feels like you can easily get lost, partially due to how every area looks about the same. T-spawn is at one side of the station, with the weapon stash next to them containing just a few weapons, notably an AK and auto sniper. CTs are on the other side of the map, close to one of the exits, which is so far and hard to get, you might as well forget about reaching it. The second escape zone is a bit more realistic to reach, beach since it's right in the middle of the map, but entering it is also only from one side. Gameplay-wise, it's about what you would expect. Approaching the escape zones is not a fun time, and not because of the lack of buy menu on the terrorist side. It's too vast and open for any sort of stealthy approach. If the size was reduced and new areas of approach were added, to the escape zones at least, I think this map would be a bit more tolerable. Frantic was made by Chris Audi, and in T-Spawn, pressing the hidden button on a pillar reveals the map credits on a wall. Also, as a warning, please don't play this map with the default bots. There's a crash that occurs for some reason. But just spectating the bots playing doesn't crash, I don't know. ES Jail, a jail facility that was ruptured by an earthquake. Judging by the layout, I can already tell you that this map is a lot better and more of what I was talking about. But let's not get confused here. It still suffers from the same overall flaws Escape has. The jail itself is not too big, but does have one useless empty room. There is also an underground sewer system that has multiple ladders to different parts of the map, notably one that's close to an escape zone, but it doesn't work. T's obviously start in the broken jail cells, again with a weapon stash right next to them. CT spawn in this small building outside, which is close to both escape zones, and these are, of course, easy to defend, but not as easy as Frantic. You see, thanks to the position of this CT building, plus maybe the sewer exits, the T's pushing now have options. A ladder to the roof of the jail is also available. It's not much, but it's better than having to walk out in the open and get served instant death. Again, there is a lot that can be technically improved, but this is far better than Frantic. Jail was made by Kurt Stossen, with credits that can be seen in this hidden room. ES Trinity. This map is set in an English rural forest area. Layout is large, pretty simple to navigate, and very open in most places. This might be the best map of the three. Each area is pretty distinguishable and they easily connect with each other, so rotations are possible. One sneaky route is an underground which can be accessed from the house by breaking the toilet. From there you can exit towards the canyon or dive into the other exit close to an escape zone. Terrorists start in cargo trains, and on the other side of the map is where the CTs start. This time, there is no weapon stash for the Ts. Most weapons are in the house, but the church also has an MP5 and an AK. Also free nades in the canyon. The escape zones are not exactly close to CT spawn. This zone on the bridge is in such an open area, you basically have to be invisible to be able to make it. The other one is in this power generator room, which also has a sneaky entrance from the ceiling if the Ts are coming from the canyon. Overall, while gameplay isn't bad and escapees do have better options of approach, it's still not easy to escape on this map, but far superior than the other two. Trinity was made by Mike Rosser, and his credits are displayed below the church along with whatever this is. And that's it for Counter-Strike's Forgotten Scrapped Game Mode. I find it an interesting relic that does attempt to provide something unique. Unfortunately, Escape was not favored by the community, and maybe the developers did not have much time to bother figuring out how to make it work, but I don't know if this was an experiment or time was not enough to polish it, but whatever, it's all in the past. I'm just here to present it for edutainment purposes. Education, entertainment, edutainment. Who even came up with that term? What? This term dates back to the 50s and was used for children's media? Well, it's not like my content is for kids. Well, actually, it does have to be family friendly at least, otherwise YouTube might burn me alive.